Hi lovelies, today we are going to prepare fish roll. Fish roll is a delicious chunky dough pastry commonly eaten back in Cameroon as a snack and is a common street food. Go ahead and show you all the ingredients. So for the filling you need some spring onion, you need onion. So this I'm using one large onion, and here I used 5 stems of spring onion. You need some carrots. So this carrot I just shredded it. You can cut it in square, you can cut it like in any shape that you want, but make sure that you cut it little, not too big. And you also need some garlic. So I'll be using this fresh garlic. I have about 7 cloves, but I'll use about 4 cloves of garlic and some ginger. You can as well use garlic or ginger powder. You also need a seasoning cube. You add salt to this. For the fish, I'll be using sardine. So you can always use normal fish, but you have to fry it and then mash it before you use. So let me just go ahead and show you how I'll prepare it. To begin, turn on the stove at medium heat, and then you go ahead and put a little bit of oil on the skillet. So I'm going to be using oil from the canned fish. And now you heat up the oil and fry onion. So you fry the onion with garlic. I actually used about 5 cloves of garlic. It just depends on the quantity of your fish roll. So I'm making it in large quantity, so the filling is going to be a lot. Now you just add in the blended ginger as well. Then you stir everything to thoroughly combine. Alright, you allow it to cook for about 3 minutes. You add in the spring onion and you give it a gentle stir. And the next thing that you're going to be adding is the carrot. Right, you add in the shredded carrots. You give it a nice stir, and then you add in the fish. All right, I'm using canned fish. You can always use a fresh fish, fresh fried fish, or fresh fish not fried, but you have to mash it a little. Now you want to stir everything to thoroughly combine. You add in salt to taste, and then you add in seasoning cubes. So friends, let me go ahead and show you all the ingredients. You need some sugar. So here I have 16 tablespoons of sugar. You can always use less, friends. Some water. So this is warm water, so you have to just estimate the water. You add it gradually in the flour when you are mixing. You need some flour. So I'm using 20 cups of flour. So I'm making the fish roll in large quantity, so I'm using 20 cups. You need eggs. So these eggs here, I have 8 eggs. And you need baking powder. And the baking powder, I'll be using 4 teaspoons of baking powder. You need some salt. Here is one spoon of salt. You also need some butter. You need 24 tablespoons of butter. You need nutmeg for flavor. So this is nutmeg, friends. You need nutmeg for flavor. So let's go ahead and mix. So to begin mixing, I'll start with the dry ingredients. So I'll start with salt. This is 1 spoon of salt. Next, go ahead and add in the baking powder. So we'll be adding 4 teaspoons of baking powder. So for the fish roll, don't add a lot of baking powder because it's going to make bubbles. You know, the air bubbles always see on fish roll is because of much baking powder. So add in just a little bit. All right, so I added 4 teaspoons, but you can go ahead and add 3 teaspoons of baking powder, nutmeg for flavor. So I'm adding in 2 tablespoons of nutmeg. All right. Add in the sugar, 16 tablespoons of sugar. 16 tablespoons of sugar for 20 cups of flour. I'm using all-purpose flour, friends. So I'll go ahead and add in the sugar. Now I'll go ahead and add in the eggs. Okay. It's time to add in the butter. So I will add in 24 tablespoons of butter. So I'm using this tablespoon, this eating spoon, to add the butter. That's 1, 2. Now you go ahead and mix everything to thoroughly combine. All right. So let's mix the butter and the flour. Just gradually mix it up. So I'm going to continue mixing. So I'll be right back. So this is how it looks like before I'm going to be adding in water. Look at that. You see? So now I'll go ahead and add in water. So you'll be adding in the water gradually while mixing. All right. Go ahead and add in a little bit of water, just a bit. Then you mix. All right. You continue the same until you get the perfect cut texture. Go ahead and add in a little bit of water, just a bit. Then you mix. Alright, you continue the same until you get the perfect cut texture. So I'll be right back. So this is how the texture looks for now. So you will have to transfer it on the dough on a flat surface or a cutting board like I'm doing. You want to spread the board or the flat surface with a little bit of flour. Then you transfer the dough onto the surface and you knead. If you did watch up to this point, I really do appreciate you. Please remember to like and share the video. Now you knead it until you obtain a perfect elastic texture, and then you can go ahead now and subdivide the dough. Okay, so to make your fish roll, you kind of like subdivide the dough and then you still subdivide it. That's how you have like perfect sizes. All right, so you just keep subdividing up till you obtain the size of the dough that you want for the fish roll, just like what I'm doing. I think I already obtained the size of the perfect size that I want. So I'll go ahead now and flatten the dough. Okay, so you kind of like flatten the dough. You make sure that you make the edges really flat because you don't want the fish roll to open up when you're frying it. So make sure that the edges are really flat enough. All right, so when you flatten it, you add the filling, and then you roll it up. When you are rolling up the fish roll, make sure that you pinch the edges and you roll it firm. You don't want the fish roll to open up. So in this step, we just want to make sure that the fish roll doesn't open up when you want to fry it. All done. This is how it looks like after I roll the fish roll. So in the next step, we're going to fry the fish roll. So you heat up some oil and you go ahead and you fry the fish roll. Make sure that the oil is not too hot. You don't want it to get cooked in the outside and raw in the inside. And you are going to fry it at medium to low heat. Most of the time, because you want hear people saying frying fish roll at low heat, the fish roll is going to drink oil. That is not true. Frying it at low heat will help the fish roll to get well cooked in the inside, okay? So you fry it until you obtain this golden brown nice color, and then the fish roll is ready. You get it out from the oil. Make sure you transfer it on a tissue paper to drain extra oil. Now you go ahead and fry the second batch, the third batch. It just depends on the quantity of fish roll that you are preparing at that time. So I thank you so much for joining. If you have not yet subscribed, do kindly subscribe so that you can be part of our family. I'm sending you tons of hugs as well. So remember, I got you back, friends. See you soon.